Ronde, I can't help but feel like something's missing here.
We don't have our earphones. We don't have our heads on. Oh, you know what heavy is the head that bears the crown. Thank you, Rhett.
Where are the Bucs right now in the standings? Where
Number
are they?
One.
Where are
Number
they?
one.
Oh, yeah.
From the Stream Center, this is the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen. Here's your host, J.B. Buno, and Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
Like the king finds no peace, his work is never done, and nor are the Bucs done with their work. Home win against the 49ers. We got road wins against Atlanta and Seattle, and now probably the biggest game of the season so far will be the Detroit Lions on Monday night. So the crown is heavy right now for the number one ranked Buck. Number one in the entire NFC, much less the NFC South. Let's see if I can put this on over my...
The crown is heavy, Bucs fans, but I can't remember the last time. Welcome into the Rondé Barber Show, by the way. Rondé Barber, JB Buno here with you. Yeah, I can't remember the last time the Bucs were number one in the power rankings. Was it after their Super Bowl victory? I don't even know if they were number one in the power rankings even then.
That sounds like a producer offset question to find that answer. I have no idea. I don't think we were. I don't ever remember the Bucs being number one in any power ranking, but it's nice to see them up there. And really, it's without question that they are. I mean, I know that there's some obviously good teams out there. Kansas City played well last week, beating who was the previous number one in the power rankings in the Detroit Lions. There's a bunch of other 4-1 teams, but the Bucs are doing it in a way that's making us feel real good about being Tampa Bay fans, even though some of us in this twosome have picked against them this year.
No. I may have been a little bit of a skeptic, but look, even Bucs fans will tell you that they are somewhat surprised by this meteoric rise in the NFC. I mean, my goodness, to only have your one singular loss be against the defending Super Bowl champions, and to have let's just get it out early, a legitimate MVP candidate in Baker Mayfield leading the way.
Yeah,
Bucs fans, man, this is not something we're used to.
Right, that started last week, the MVP for Baker, and it's continued based on his play against the 49ers. I mean, that game was, I'm not going to say it was a perfect game. It certainly wasn't. It's certainly not with all the players that we have out, but how he played that game with the guys that he played that game with lets you know that Baker Mayfield is legit MVP candidate. And if you're on any kind of talk radio or TV show, if you're watching, there has not been a day this week where I haven't seen something about Baker Mayfield. So that feels pretty awesome if you're a Bucs fan. You know what he's looking like to me? Obviously he matured, right? What John Lynch said last week about playing against him at Cleveland, and just the manner in which he went about his job, that has definitely changed for Baker Mayfield, and it's showing in his production, right? Not only passing yards and touchdowns and efficiencies, only throwing one interception, although he could have thrown a couple this year. He's gotten away with some. He's less of this like unhinged gunslinger, if you will, and he's more calculated. I think he always had this talent. He just didn't have the in-game maturity to be who he is now. Before, obviously, last year, career year, it showed up there. This year, it's even more so. Finding checkdowns when you just need 5 or 6 yards to get in the field goal range. There was one play in this game where it was towards the end of the game, and a younger Baker Mayfield would have just tried to, sling something in a precarious position, and who knows what would have happened. He drops back, goes through his reads, which, by the way, he's doing as well as I've ever seen him, maybe as well as anybody in the league right now. And he finds a check down. They get 5 or 6 yards. They kick the field goal. It's important. Those type of things are where I'm seeing growth in Baker Mayfield this year. It's awesome to watch this guy. I mean, it's great to see the favorite moments. That 3rd and 14th scramble, that's
amazing.
Just ridiculous, right?
Superman type
right?
stuff.
And then the touchdown pass to Tez Johnson 4 plays late. Like those are the great moments. But it's the little ones that I think are making him a legit MVP candidate. And it's just fun. I don't know anybody that's maybe Josh Allen has some of this in him. That off script, put on your superhero uniform. It's not Superman. What is he? What is he? Is he like Batman?
Baker?
Yeah. What superhero would he be? We got to find this superhero.
This is a phenomenon. YouTube, hey, in the comments below, drop a comment.
Right.
Baker Mayfield compares to which superhero the best? I don't know, man.
He doesn't feel superhuman, and Batman's not really superhuman. He's just a grinder.
This is going to bother me now because now I'm really thinking, you and I are both, superhero nerds, and I'm trying to think of the one, Hulk comes to mind just because he's,
he's not big enough to be Hulk.
He's not big enough to be Hulk, right.
He could be Deadpool's
Deadpool's not bad. Producer Rhett with the shout out.
It's not bad, and he's a little unhinged like Deadpool. It's he headbutts people. It's funny. I was
kind of funny too.
I was standing there. I was on the sideline before the game, right? And they're doing the little right before they go on the sideline right before they go on to do their little huddle on the field. And I'm sitting there talking to a couple of guys that aren't playing. And Baker walks over. I give him the the little low five, and he gives me that look, and I'm like, don't headbutt me. He goes, you want one? And I was like, no. Deadpool's a good one, Rhett. I'm gonna stick with Deadpool. You can't kill him. That's Baker. You can't kill him. He's our new Deadpool. Let's see if this tracks going forward.
We'll check out some YouTube comments because I'm curious to see what people drop below. We've been getting a lot of
sinister smile right there.
Look at that.
I mean, I couldn't have timed itself more perfectly with the red on too. Come on, this is it. We've created something. Oh man, but he's really really good right now. It does not matter to whom he's throwing the football. Wide receiver 1 through 3, Edwards, Godwin, McMillan, who we haven't seen. McMillan was presumably going to be wide receiver 3 coming into this year, but he got hurt in the preseason. We're down to Emeka Egbuka, who is hurt going into week 7. Sterling Shepard, the Johnson brothers, Tez and Cameron, not really related. And
Johnson and Johnson.
And Ryan Miller. Behind that, do you know who we have? Because one of these two guys is going to have to play this week, unless we go sign somebody on the street.
Well, we're talking practice squad territory, yes. Right? Oh yeah.
Garrett Green, converted quarterback from West Virginia, that is a wide receiver. Also had a pretty good preseason. I was impressed, which is why he's on the practice squad. And then Dennis Houston, who's been around here for a long time on the practice squad. One of those two guys is going to have to play this week. So we'll see if Deadpool Mayfield finds a way to go on the road in Detroit and get a win there. Because this one's actually going to be a fun game. Monday night, do not miss this. And you know why it's important? And I wanted to get to this off the top too. The NFC South is way more competitive than we thought it was going to be, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of teams are not. They're still searching for their identity. Clearly, with it being early on in the season, but there isn't. I mean, the Buccaneers have risen to be the cream of the crop in the NFC, and everyone else is sort of meandering in this sort of purgatory beneath the Bucs right now. So we're in a weird place in the season with the NFC, it feels like.
That and the NFC South. Atlanta keeps winning.
Yep.
With the number 1 defense. I believe you picked against them last week. Way to go.
Did.
I also picked against an NFC South division rival, Carolina, who beat the Cowboys, whom might have the worst defense in football right now.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pathetic. But Carolina's on a 3-game winning streak. Atlanta is 4-2, and New Orleans is struggling, but Spencer Rattler is looking all right. So it's important that the Bucs keep winning football games here because it's getting a little more dicey. I thought the Bucs. If you would have told me, let's go back to the top. If you would have told me that the Bucs were 5-1,
yep.
We both had that on our bingo cards. If we had said the Bucs were 5-1, we would say they'd be running away with the NFC South right now. and they're only a game ahead of Atlanta and 2 games ahead of
Falcons
Carolina.
3-2. Falcons 3-2, not 4-2.
Oh, right, 3-2. They had the bye.
They had the bye.
They had the
Yeah,
bye week already.
that's right.
You're correct.
So as we look here let's talk about the NFC South for a second, because it is going to be interesting how this takes. I think the Saints are. Look, they're shopping for a high lottery pick at this point, right? And that's basically what we think of the Saints, and that's what
they're
we
just not
in
that.
large
They're
part
just not that
expected.
talented. First-year head coach, first-time head coach,
and Kellen
Moore. You know, a lot of turnover on that team. They got old really, really quick, and then they're just not competitive right now. Will they be? Yes, I think he's a good coach. Carolina, on the other hand, because I'm the biggest doubter of all time in Bryce Young, just the way his first 2 years went, got benched, and But I will say one thing about Carolina: they have surrounded that team with a ton of talent. Dave Canales is a sharp dude, right? Like a really sharp mind, especially when calling offenses. But you look at what he has in his wide receiver room that Bryce Young can throw to. They drafted Teteroa McMillan this year. They drafted Xavier Legette last year. Mm-hmm. They have Hunter Renfrow off his deathbed of a career, who's making waves, and Jimmy Horn Jr., who they drafted late in this year's draft. And you're going, wow, they're really good. And then on top of that, they go get Rico Dowdle.
That's the one. That's the one that
from
just came
Dallas
out of nowhere.
And it's like,
yep.
Is this dude the best running back in the NFC South? Like,
if Bucky's hurt, if Bucky's not in the picture, absolutely.
You can
right?
make an argument. I mean, just what he did last week and the week before. I mean, that Carolina is running roughshod on people. They're not. They're absolutely not. They're winning close games. But this Rico Dowdle is killing it right now, and it's all because of Dave Canales and the talent that him and Dan Morgan, the general manager, have put together in Carolina. So
we got to put some respect on. Bijan's also in the division as well.
Fair.
I mean,
fair.
He's looking pretty good for Atlanta. Let's be fair.
We don't like either one of these to be the case, but yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't know. Pure runner, it might be Rico right now. Bijan's a home run hitter, dude. Like you give him a seam, and he's going to hit a home run. But he's not a guy that's going to run through tackles. He's not going to make a bunch of people. He's not going to make these I guess typical running back type runs. He's just going to hit home runs. And all you got to do is get the ball in his hands, and you just never know. He's going to have a 238 yards the other day.
Yeah,
he's going to have that type of game. But his ability to have that game makes that team dangerous. Just like Carolina is dangerous because they have so much ancillary talent around what I think is a pretty average quarterback in Bryce Young. But they're winning. They won 3 in a row, man, and it's making the NFC South really, really competitive right now.
So let me ask you this, because it appears to me that it's pretty clear cut right now that with the NFC South being more interesting than we thought it was going to be when the season began, that the Bucs are the top dogs right now in the NFC South, probably followed by the Falcons,
yes,
then the Panthers, which have surprised a lot of folks, and then obviously the bottom of the Saints. That's the way that it's stacked right now in the standings. Which of these teams matches up worst for who's the hardest play for the Bucs for the remainder of the season? Is it the Panthers or the Falcons, really?
I think we play the Panthers and we beat them. I think Atlanta's defense has turned into something pretty significant. They have a lot of speed on a defensive line, and edge rushers specifically. They can get after the quarterback, man. And they've historically in the past decade, that's been their one weakness, right? They've had players on offense. I mean, they've had the receiver, the tight end, and the running back for a couple of years now. Obviously, the quarterback's coming into his own in year 2. But the one area that they sucked was on the defensive line and getting after the quarterback. But that team right now, man, the draft picks, of course, and then the scheme itself is lending itself to putting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, man. I mean, if you watch that game on Monday, and you're watching Josh Allen just get run over by Jeff Ulbricht's defense, you're all of a sudden going, okay, I'm a little bit worried about the Falcons playing the Bucs. Thankfully, we've already played them once and beat them. But with Leonard Floyd, James Pierce, Jalen Walker, the last first two draft picks, first round draft picks this year, like, yeah, man, that team's scary. And then they got great players in the back end, A.J. Terrell, Jesse Bates. I mean, they've got legit, like, talent now that could compete with the Bucs. And I think that win they had on Monday night was big for the Falcons. So I'm mildly concerned with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, giving some flowers to your boy Raheem, man.
Yeah,
Give him some flowers.
Yeah, definitely some flowers. I mean, he had a great start last year, right? And then they just fell off the face of the earth playing terrible defense last year. They ended up firing my good buddy Jimmy Lake, who was the defensive coordinator, and they've made the right moves. That's if you're Arthur Blank and you're the owner and of this team, all you're saying is, I want to see moves, and I want to see this talent that we have accumulated over the years start materializing into wins and playoff runs and et cetera. And right now, they look like they've done that.
So as we canvass the NFC South, with the Bucs being top dogs, one of the reasons the Bucs are the top dogs is that the offense is clearly embracing a next man up mentality, especially at the wide receiver position. But also, we have seen the maturation of the guy that we had on this program earlier on this year, and that being Grizzard, the Wizard, Josh Grizz.
Good call.
Man, sprinkling some Grizz into this offense. I don't know. You can make you can have a lot of fun with the last name, but bottom line is that the Bucs offense right now is clicking with Baker and with the tools that they have, and they've somehow, Ronde, how are they surviving these injuries, man? Well, because this has been pretty wild to witness.
The injuries, the ones that concern you are the ones on the offensive line, because that's where this offense has always been, or at least the last 2 years. It's been really good. Offensive line stayed healthy. Now three of those guys are out. Right, or two of those guys are out. I don't know how long Gedeke is out, if he's out for the year, but Cody Mauch's out for the year. We've had a rotation at the offensive line. That's concerning, right? I will give Charlie Heck some credit, man. The right tackle, he was a swing tackle really, because he's actually played pretty well at right tackle. But that's all comes back to Josh Grizzard finding a way to utilize what he has, and not only with the running game on the offensive line, but with the skill position guys. We already went through the number of down the line receivers that are playing, but I've noticed just the way that he's calling plays. And I know not many people would notice this watching him on the sideline. I'm watching him on the sideline, like with this intent to call plays. Like if you're in the middle of the game and you're in the second quarter and it's an important drive, you got a drive going, you want to keep it going. Just look at his face when he's calling plays. The intent in which he has packaged his stuff together is, I think, really, really well. Now, it helps the Baker's playing great. But I think the biggest, benefit to this team is that he didn't change the playbook when he came in here. He's just taken the same playbook that they had last year under Liam Cohen, obviously put his new wrinkles in there. There's a couple of plays in there that we've seen to Emeka that weren't in the playbook last year. But he's taken a playbook, he sprinkled some fairy dust on it because he's a wizard, and and found his rhythm calling plays. I saw somewhere where it was like, oh, Josh Grizzard is nothing. He's just got a quarterback that's playing great. I was like, no, he is calling great plays. Like, he's scheming up defenses. There was no better point in that than if you care to go back and watch the Houston game when Emeka scored his touchdown. Houston was playing basically, cover six, quarter, half, all the way down the field. Houston gets in the red zone. They like to play man-to-man. It was 3rd and like 5 or 6, and they run this screen to Emeka that he caught. And the design of this play was so beautiful that it was an easy touchdown. And to me, that's like maturity, right? It's maturity as a play caller, and he's getting there, man. He's learning that he has a ton of talent, and he's got a great quarterback, and all he has to do is get the ball in their hands. It's fun, and we don't even have Bucky. Like, when you put Bucky into this equation, this offense is going to be ridiculously good.
looking forward to seeing how this clicks over the course of the season, because it is, still early. We're only through 6 weeks of football, but it's been fun to see. We're going to talk a little more about the injuries in a second, but let's flip it around now. I want to hear your take.
Finally, talk about defense.
Yeah, let's talk about some defense. This is the Rondé Barber Show, man. We got to talk about defense on this program, right. And if you're Todd Bowles right now, you're smiling a little wider these days, because the defense, very much akin to what Rondé Barber did in his playing days, isn't just making stops, but they're making plays. Right. And there's a key difference, obviously.
Well, sure, but it's not perfect. It's been good, especially run defense. It all starts with run defense. Any defense you're talking about. If you're not stopping the run, if the 49ers are able to just turn around and hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, get 6-7 yards, set up 2nd and 3, put them in a position where they can get 2 downs, convert, 3 yards. It's tough. They had some bust. I'm just going to call them what they are. Flat as bust last week. After they scored their first touchdown, the next play is I know what the call was, and I'm not going to say who messed it up, but it's a bust. They get a 40-something yard completion down the field. Where they've gotten really good this year is not letting those plays, avalanche into easy scores. On that particular play, on that particular drive, they kicked a field goal. They've played great red zone defense this year. It's because they've been able to get after the quarterback, stop the run, then let Vita Vea just manhandle people. Vita Vea is manhandling people. They had 6 sacks in that game last week against Mac Jones. I'd say 3 of them were the result of Vita Vea just absolutely killing somebody, like putting somebody on there. How often do you see an offensive guard go? How do you say ass over tea kettle? Like, is that the right word?
Right.
Just like that way, and just on his back, and you're just like, are you kidding me right now? But it's a fun defense to watch because of the way they're rushing the quarterback with 4 rushers. Todd Bowles is the master of scheming up 5-man pressures, 6-man pressures. He did it largely last week with just 4-man rushes, and that's when you know you're playing well. Because then you got a chance to play zone behind it, get eyes on the quarterback. Kinder Vildor's interception, eyes on the quarterback. Thought they were playing one thing. He's really just a trap corner sitting in a flat interception. Jamel Dean's interception at the end of the game, they're just playing cover 2. He just got long-ass arms, goes up and makes a great catch and takes the ball away. But he can do that because you got great pressure with 4-man rushes. They had a sack right before that. So this defense is getting really, really fun to watch. And when they start getting production, takeaways, sacks, I think like 17% of drives, somebody said this the other day, I think like 17, 18% of drives that have a sack in them don't result in a score. So that's how important quarterback pressure sacks are. And you get 6 of them, you're likely to win a football game.
I'm glad you're highlighting Vita, because I'm watching the game on Sunday, and he's involved. He's making an impact on just about every play that he's on the field.
Yeah, except for when he couldn't stop and ran into the punter. That was okay. But no, he was making an impact on that play, just not the type of impact that we obviously wanted, because that was a pretty bad look, and he threw up the my bad on that. He clearly knew that he made a mistake. Let's you know what? We didn't script this. We didn't script this in pre-pro, but let's go off the beaten path here for a second. All right.
Because you have a very unique vantage point when it comes to this defense, right?
Yeah.
So how about we do some grades? You want to do letter grades for some of the players on defense through 6 weeks of in Todd Bowles' defense?
Sure. What do you got?
Okay. I'll shout out a player.
All right.
And then you give me your gut reaction, your gut instinct. You're not putting too much thought into this. Your gut instinct letter grade that you give them through 6 weeks. Okay. Ready to go?
Give me some guys.
All right, let's start with the lightning rod. Servassier Dennis.
Oh, he's probably the one that's he's the one that the teacher is going up to, maybe calling his parents, saying, "Hey, your guy's trying hard. He needs to do a little bit better." he's barely passing, but he's getting better. I will say that.
I need a grade.
C minus.
C minus for Dennis. Jacob Parrish.
Jacob Parrish is a solid A right now. He starts taking the ball away, I'm giving him an A+. And it's not just because of his play as a pass defender. This kid is not scared to put his face on somebody and tackle him. There was a play that Christian McCaffrey caught a little out breaking route into the flat last week. And no sooner he caught it, he turned, tried to go upfield. Jacob Parrish kissed him and just smacked him. And Christian McCaffrey went that way. And I was like, this kid's 5'11", 195 pounds, and is fearless, dude. He is a solid A right now.
Okay, we'll keep going. We're going to rapid fire. So Jacob Parrish gets an A. Let's go on the other side. His battery mate in the NFL draft at cornerback, Benjamin Morrison.
Benjamin Morrison's, what do you call it? Incomplete. He's got an incomplete. He's got an I right now. He's only played in 2 games.
Right.
And he's been hurt.
Do you like what you've seen, though?
But I love what I've seen.
Okay.
Not enough to give him a grade yet. Now, Jamel Dean, who's getting pressured a ton because of BMO draft, I'll give Jamel Dean a solid A. Because 2 takeaways. He had a sack fumble last week. He looks way more engaged than he has looked in years.
He's playing for that bag, man.
He's playing for something, and it's nice. Competition brings out the best in everybody. We're seeing that with Jamel Dean right now.
We're gonna go all over the map. Let's go Tyke Smith.
Tyke, I love it. He's a B. He's a solid B right now because I need him to take the ball away. I need him to create some more opportunities. But where he's helped us is his tackling and his energy. Just watch how he plays. Watch how fast he plays on the football field, and you realize the impact that he's having.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
He's finally back into that.
He's back?
He's back.
Can we say he's back?
He's back into that B+ range, man. He's not the A plus that he was a couple of years ago yet, because he hasn't quite made those type of plays. But I'm watching him play really good football right now. A lot of it's stuff that you don't see. It's not like an impact play. Yes, he's had some pressures. The interception that Levante got last week, that was because of a pressure from Antoine Winfield. But some of the plays down the field, the pass breakup in Atlanta, if you guys can remember all the way back to then, he's playing really, really good. The guy right there,
that's the other screen, he's next.
Yaya Diaby, go ahead. You can give him an A+ right now. He's getting a lot of pressures. He leads the team with 3 sacks. It's starting to materialize. I expect him to have a breakout year this year, and it's really starting to show. Now it helps that he has some good teammates up front in Vita Vea and Hassan Reddick coming from the other side. But I really like watching him play right now.
Hey, Todd Bowles, what do you think of Yaya Diaby?
It's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yaya Diaby's exciting. How about let's continue on. Oh, man. El Capitan on the defense. How about Levante David?
Levante's a B right now, man.
Okay.
He's solid as he's ever been. He's lacked some coverage opportunities, but what he's done, especially the past 3 weeks, is start making some splash plays, man. That's how you know Levante's playing well. Levante has, I think, the 5th most or 6th most. I can't remember what I think it's 5th most tackles for loss in NFL history. In NFL history. He needs one more to go ahead of Aaron Donald right now. So, that's the type of player Levante is. And I didn't see that earlier in the year. I'm starting to see it now. I'm starting to see him with his legs under him. If this is the end for Levante, he's going out with a bang right now. He's got the sacks are starting to show up, the interception last week. This is a Levante that I like watch play.
Okay, let's go to how about
who else we missing?
You brought him up. How about Hassan Reddick?
Hassan Reddick, yeah. I need to see the production start to take over.
The results.
He's like a B- right now. He's got 1.5 sacks on the year. His pressure is noted, but he hasn't finished a lot of them. He's gotten to a quarterback a bunch and it's translated into somebody else getting a sack. But I want to see this dude dominate because we brought him in here to be the dominant edge player that he was 2 years ago. and haven't seen that yet. But
I feel like he's so close on so many plays to making an impact,
well,
and
it's just so technically good. Like the way he approaches rushing the tackles, and his hand usage, and like you see him intentionally grab an offensive lineman's hand and throw him up so he can go by. Like he does a lot of good stuff. You just got to get the quarterback on the ground.
It was tough seeing this next guy on the sideline. But what do you think of Zion McCollum so far through the first 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's funny because he was the guy I was talking to the other day, and he was asking me what the secret sauce was. I was like, the secret sauce is when you start understanding what's coming at you and you can get greedy. I haven't seen him get greedy yet. Like he's played well, but I'd give him like a B-. Maybe he just hasn't done enough yet. Great tackler. Cornerbacks are paid to do one thing, man, and we just paid this guy. Take the ball away. Like if you're not taking a ball away, you're useless to me as a corner. That's just the bottom line. Like bottom line. Maybe, and I'm not saying that because of the career that I had. I'm saying that because that's what you're supposed to do. It's the reason why like a guy like Travis Hunter should be playing DB. Anybody can play wide receiver in the NFL, right? Any athlete can play wide receiver in the NFL. But an athlete that can take the ball away, that's what separates you from the rest of the crowd. And he has that ability. He just needs to start getting greedy and doing it because he's long. He's got great feet at the line of scrimmage. He can play on or off the football. Like I love the kid. Start getting greedy. I'll give you an A because I love him.
Let's get to the edge. How about let's go Logan Hall and Greg Gaines. Give me grades for each.
Yeah, they're like B's. They're solid.
Okay.
They're not exciting you. They're not failing, but they're not like they're not turning a needle yet. Greg Gaines though, he might be the most solid role player on our football team.
An occasional highlight here and there, which has been fun to see.
He just does his job. He just goes out and does his job. Starting right now because of Elijah Cansey injury, he's doing well.
And then we'll move inside, unless I'm missing any guys. I'm going to ask our producer team over here if I'm missing anybody. But let's go inside. Let's start with Elijah Roberts.
Yeah. Man.
Pleasant surprise, I think it's fair to say.
He's just above an incomplete right now because he's just starting to play.
Right.
And he's in the B range for me. He got like 2 half sacks, I think, on the year. But when you watch him play, and I've described him as this before, he's like really heavy-handed, right? I'm doing film session with the Bucs later today, and you know who Trent Williams is, right? He absolutely baptizes Trent Williams, puts him on his knees, dude, and gets a sack, right? Like somehow he only got half a sack for that, but it was his sack. But he's playing well, man. And I don't think we expected this much from him. We'd expect him to have to play this much this year, but he's coming along.
And then let's finish with the big man in the middle.
Vita's an A+, bro. He's the best deep nose tackle in football, defensive tackle in football. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close.
Sexy Dex would have something to say about that in New York. He's considered to be one of the best. And I don't know. Is Queen and Williams technically a nose tackle?
Dude,
I don't know.
Vita eats these guys up. Like it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every time you watch him play, he's just destroying people that are in his face, and it's awesome to watch him play.
Yeah, Vita is just a mammoth human being.
He's monster.
Okay, last thing before we move on and we get closer to our Pick Six segment here on the program, let's go, Dr. Ronde. You, Dr. Ronde, you have connections, of course, to the Buccaneers, and as far as talking to the players themselves and talking to the front office, what are you hearing on the injury front? There's a lot of concern, especially at the wide receiver position right now. So what are your expectations when it comes to all the injuries that are mounting up?
Mike's is what it is because he's dealt with this so many times. That's a good thing, right? That he's dealt with this hamstring. He knows how to get back. He knows when he's going to be ready. He might be back this week. He'll probably be one of those ones that goes out on Monday and sees if he can go. Ibuka, I watched the film. I never saw it catch. Usually when you see somebody pull a hamstring, you see when they do it, and you're just like, oh, man, he's got a hamstring. His injury came right before the 2-point conversion failed. Like, that drive were his last snaps, and I never saw him ever, grab his hamstring. I think it probably just tightened up, which I think is probably a good thing. So it could be a week. It could be, we'll see. Not too long. The ones that worry you are Bucky, and Godwin. I can't get a solid answer what's wrong with either of them. I know that Bucky has his foot, he has his shoulder injury, but I didn't think it would take this long. And the fact that it's taking this long, a little concerning. They might be trying to wait it out. They're winning games with Rachaad White. By the way, Rachaad White is one of the guys I had on my list of stepping up into their opportunities. Rachaad just keeps scoring, dude. Like, he's playing really well, doing a lot of things well. And he's not dynamic like Bucky. And I've said that many, many times, but he does it differently, and he's doing it really well. The other ones, especially on defense, Zion had to have surgery on his thumb. It wasn't like a break. It was more intensive than that. A lot of people's like, oh man, it's just a thumb, just cast it up and play. Well, apparently he couldn't do that. But I do expect him probably back for Monday Night Football. And BMO, I think, is just day to day. Benjamin Morrison, I think, is day to day. So we're not as bad as you think. Because I think some guys will be coming back soon. Haggart, last week, guard. Elijah Klein goes in. What's the difference?
Yep.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Neither one of them are Cody Malk, who's was turned into a really, really good football player. But I say this: we're closer than we think to getting a bunch of players back, and the sooner that happens, the better. Don't know if that will be full go on Monday Night Football, but in the weeks after, hopefully.
Okay, so real quick, just because the Bucs wide receiver room is so thin, and we haven't really talked about this name too much on the program, but Jalen McMillan, I've heard reports, or I've seen reports that he's still in a neck brace. I mean, is there the expectation that he might, be gone for most of the remainder of the season, or even the remainder of the season?
This is one of those ones, man, that you just I won't speculate, but yes, he's not close.
No, nowhere close.
Nowhere close.
Well, the Bucs wide receiver room is going to be the depth chart and who actually lines up.
I will say this, one of the beat guys called me the other day, and I was like, hey man, don't sleep on Cam Johnson. Like, I know I was a little critical of him in the preseason this year because he was just hurt and just didn't play, and then when he got in the last preseason game, he didn't look great. But I do remember last preseason, the 2024 season preseason, Liam Cohen was talking about Cam Johnson being like our third receiver, at worst fourth receiver. They couldn't wait for him to play. And then he gets hurt, and he did nothing most of last year. Last week, he had 4 targets. He had 4 catches. One of them was towards the end of the game, a little zone beater in the middle of the field. Makes a great catch, turns it up, gets first down. Like, he's a mature football player, and he doesn't have a lot of experience. I'm not going to overhype the guy, but just remember that this kid a year ago was ready to start getting real offensive reps. And he might be a great, compliment to the uncertainty of Chris Godwin, because that's what Chris has been for us, that guy that gets the screens, the guy that does the reverses, the guy that gets all those little plays and creates a lot of juice in the offense. Cam Johnson might be that. Tez is not that. Tez is a little guy that is, can take the top off the defense. You put him in space and it's impossible to touch him. But Cam, more solid build, gives us something that I think we can utilize while a lot of this room is beat to death right now.
We'll, of course, find out as the Bucs injury report comes out a little bit later on in the day ahead, and, of course, as the week progresses. The Rondé Barber Show will be back after this.
You're watching the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, superior products, exceptional service, and by Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, here's NFL Hall of Famer Rondé Barber, and a guy who scalps his Bucs season tickets, Jamie Buno.
Oh my God,
yes,
dude! I have a confession. I haven't told this to anybody. I swear to God, I haven't told this to anybody. Not even our team over here to my right. I haven't told this to anybody. I had tickets for the game this past week, and I couldn't go.
Oh, you boo!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Somebody boo this man!
I felt terrible. And I pulled the plug on being able to go before I had the chance to give anybody the tickets. So if there were 2 empty seats at Raymond James Stadium this week,
goodness,
this guy on camera is to blame.
Well, at least
what
you
a
didn't.
loser.
At least you didn't admit that you scalped them.
No, I didn't scalp them.
By the way, is Bowles in your Coach of the Year conversation?
Okay.
Our A block was real heavy. I'm going to go through this real fast. Do you think he's Coach of the Year right now?
I think that he certainly has to be top 3.
All right,
Top 3. No, you can't talk me. You can't talk me into him not being in the top 3.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I would agree. I would kind of agree with that. Defense is still a little spotty. That's his side of the ball. But yes, I think Shane Steichen right now
is the guy.
Is the guy, dude. Like, he's the guy. And if Kyle Shanahan would have beat us last week, I would have put him in the top 3. But since he lost, he's not in the top 3 because he's working with a team that's just beat to death, right? Worse than us. Losing Fred Warner last week is, oh my God, they might be in trouble. San Francisco might be in trouble. Poor John Lynch, man. That team is crazy. But here's the bigger question, and I might need your help on this, Rick, because I neglected to look this up. Has there ever been an MVP and a Coach of the Year on the same team?
Oh, you would have to. Did Belichick and Brady do it?
Garrett,
I mean, you would imagine.
Garrett, come on, Garrett. Who is it? I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking us, or are you quizzing us?
But Garrett looked at us like, yes, there has been.
It's like the 90s. It's like Cam Newton and Ron Rivera in 2015.
Wow, pulling that out. So if you didn't hear that, Ron Rivera and Cam Newton for the Panthers back in 2015.
Wow, that my bingo card did not hit that.
Nope. I'm bringing up odds here, by the way. DraftKings, look, Google result right away as for Coach of the Year. Odds as of Monday the 13th, October 13th. Steichen 1, Vrabel 2.
Yeah, it's a good one too. Yep.
Cohen with the Jags 3. Kyle Shanahan with the Niners 4. Ben Johnson with the Bears 5. And then Todd Bowles 6 with the Bucs.
I stand corrected. I think 2019 it was Harbaugh and Lamar with MVP and Coach of the Year.
Oh, so
that's the latest.
Harbaugh and Lamar.
That's the latest.
Didn't hear it.
Yes, 2015. Okay. That's the latest. Or 19. 19.
Now, hold on. Let me flip this around to you, though. Do you like Todd Bowles as a Coach of the Year candidate? Where do you have him?
So I would say they would have to win big. They would have to, because they've been NFC South champions now 4 years in a row, right? They've been in the playoffs 4 years in a row. Like, he can't just get to that point and be Coach of the Year. He's going to have to win, maybe get to the NFC Championship game. Baker's going to have to continue to win in spite of all the injuries. The defense has to start playing better and doing, things that make you look like one of the most competitive teams in football. Like, this team can't get by, or he can't get by being Coach of the Year if it's just the offense outscoring everybody every week or winning games in the last minute of every game. Like, that's not what Coach of the Year is, right?
So to you, his background as a defensive whiz is...
Well, it's always weird. This is always a weird question, man. It's the reason why, and we'll get to this in just a second, it's the reason why coaches get fired. When their side of the ball does not live up to expectations, that's when you get fired. It happened 2 days ago to Brian Callahan, who was a quarterback guru by association because of the guys that he had worked with. Axe just got dropped on him in Tennessee. He got fired because the offense wasn't doing anything. So if you're talking about Todd, the defense needs to play, I think, really well, which it's starting to. But they got to start winning convincing games on both sides of the ball, playing quote unquote complimentary football, and then make a run deep into the playoffs. And then I think he's in that conversation. He has to be in that conversation.
Well, doesn't correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't the voting happen after the regular season?
I don't know.
Right? Doesn't the voting, guys? You want to check that on me because
you know what? I know they announce it at the Super Bowl.
Right.
That I know, because I remember when
Voting happens after regular season.
After the regular season.
So I remember when I got into the Hall of Fame, Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year, and he's on a hot seat right now.
Oh yeah.
Right. I remember that. So I know they announce it after the playoffs. But to me, to deserve it is what I was saying. I don't know when they voted. I think we got to play better if he's going to be coach of the year.
Yeah, and currently it looks good right now. But even Vegas odds, look, they have Bowles is still on the outside looking in on some of the guys, including Shane Steichen with the Colts, who's obviously turning in a resume forming campaign. Let's switch to the other side with head coaches. Coaches on the hot seat. Who's got the most scalding hot seat right now amongst NFL head coaches in your opinion?
Got to be Mike McDaniel. That's without question. They got a tough game this week too, right? I forget who they play. I was just baffled that you draft a quarterback number one in the last 4 years, and the coach gets fired that year. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, Frank Reich got fired in Carolina at 23 when drafted Bryce Young. Matt Eberflus got fired in Chicago last year when they drafted Caleb Williams, and now Brian Callahan gets fired when they drafted Cam Ward. Number one overall, if you draft a quarterback number one overall and you're on a team that's not very good, you're probably going to get fired. That's what you're telling me. You're going to get fired. And actually, Rhett made a good point in our pre-call about this whole coach, GM, drafting a quarterback, number one overall. The culture's not in place for that guy to be successful. It's just not. If you're in position to draft the number one player and it's a quarterback that you need in the draft, you're probably looking at failure. You know what I mean? Like imminent failure. Like that quarterback who turns into a good player like Caleb has, like Bryce has, like Trevor Lawrence has really this year, that player is going to be coached by another guy and get to that place.
This guy right here, the seat is unexpectedly hot because usually there's a bit of a runway for first-year NFL head coaches, but Aaron Glenn with the Jets look absolutely atrocious.
Woody is impulsive too, man.
Yep, we saw that last year with Robert Saleh, and that second quarter thing in London at the end of the first half was just that had a lot of people scratching their heads.
Inexplicable, man.
Yep, and then you got Kevin Stefanski. I mean, I think that he's just had there's been some. It's been a rough go of it, obviously, in Cleveland after the Deshaun Watson debacle, and I'm just searching for a quarterback that's going to emerge as the guy in Cleveland.
Well, they had one.
Right. And then Dable too is interesting, but we'll talk more about Dable here in a second. Why don't we switch now to our Pick Six segment? Okay, to catch everybody up. Ronde and I once again enter this week as tied. We're tied at 10-5, 10 wins, 5 losses apiece. The rules of the game are, for those new to the program, each one of us, we have to pick a favorite, an underdog, and then we pick the Bucs game. You want to go first or second this week? What do you want to do?
You can go first.
I'm going to go first.
Yes. I forgot who I picked right now. I got to find it.
Okay. My week 7 picks. Let's talk about favorite. I think the Broncos barely beating those aforementioned god-awful Jets in London. I think that's an anomaly. I don't think that they are. I don't think that they are that bad.
I just remembered who I picked now. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to get fun. We're going to have a lot of fun here. And stay tuned for the next few minutes. It's going to be fun. The Broncos are going to return home, get some home cooking. The jet lag will wear off, and I think that the Broncos will be just okay. They're leading the league with 30 sacks.
Yeah, man.
30 sacks. And I know that's 9 against Justin Fields and the Jets, but even if you subtract the 9, if they have none, 0 against the Jets, they are still leading the NFL in getting after the quarterback at the sack statistic.
You are right.
Pretty mind-blowing.
You are right.
Okay, week 7. All right, my dogs, okay? So we're talking here Falcons and Niners. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm not making the same mistake twice. I like Atlanta in this matchup going into San Francisco. And yes, they are dogs. I know that might sound mind-blowing, but the Falcons going into San Francisco, they are dogs on the road. I have the Falcons.
I actually like that one. I like that pick.
Yeah.
San Francisco's just beat up. And it's funny. I don't know what this line is, but there was one that we picked last week that was a dog that ended up flipping. But at the time of recording,
Time of recording.
that's
the rule, man.
That's the rule.
I'm trying to keep up with a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Guys, everybody, come on. We've got to be on my side
Trust
just a
me,
little bit.
San Fran's defense can't keep up with Bijan Robinson. Ain't no way.
Ooh, there's some Bijan love. It came in the B block, not the A block. Week 7, Bucs matchup at the Lions. You know where I'm going with this, everybody. Okay. I can't pick. I'm the villain on this program.
You are the villain.
I'm the bad guy.
wrong
No, wait.
with
No. Move it. There it is, Rhett. There it is. I have the Lions
What are you doing,
winning
son?
at Ford Field on Monday
my
Night
God. Did you watch them play Kansas City
Football.
last night or 2 nights ago?
I
Are you kidding me?
did. And I still don't like the matchup. I don't like the matchup. I think there's too many playmakers for the Lions, and I think that they're gonna right those wrongs. And they're hard to beat in Detroit. That place goes nuts.
They gave up 30 points to the previously listless Kansas City Chiefs. Just saying.
I know.
And we got the MVP. All right, put mine
I
up
know.
there. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, my favorite.
The good guy here.
Good guy here, and this is the good guy, and I'm picking the Steelers, obviously over the Bengals, who just got Joe Flacco as their quarterback. It's not going to help because they just don't have anything to offer. However, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase with a competent quarterback actually is a little bit concerning. So this one's like iffy, and it's at home, but I just
This one's hilarious to me.
I mean.
This game is hilarious. This is the Senior Bowl.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers looks, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers actually looks a little more comfortable. This is the Senior Bowl. Why are there 2 40-year-old quarterbacks?
Two 40-year-old quarterbacks playing, on Thursday Night Football. I just want to watch this to see how many wheelchairs are on the sideline.
I'm using that, the Senior Bowl. That's good.
Thank you.
That's a good description.
Rhett and I were joking about it yesterday. I don't know who came up with it between Rhett and I, but it is the Senior Bowl.
All right. Okay. Now, and this is where it gets interesting. Just like it was a couple of weeks ago, my underdog is his favorite. I'm going to take the New York Giants, upsetting the Broncos in Denver. After watching the Broncos play in London against the Jets and then fly home and choose not to take a bye, I'll take my chances with those great hype guys.
So Dart and Scadaboo.
I'll take my chances on those. Them 2 dudes are different.
With NFL fans right now, I think NFL fans love Baker. And you see, I wanted to mention this in the A block real quick, just a quick tangent, okay? My feed right now on X and Instagram are flooded with Mahomes and Baker comparisons.
Right.
That when Baker takes a hit, he gets up and is all revved up like he's, he wants to get in someone's face. Mahomes gets up from a hit and he's just jarring at the refs. That comparison, by the way, is all over my feed.
Yeah.
Right behind that on my feed, everything is Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo. These two, like, I don't know, like Tom and Jerry kind of characters that are, I don't know what or Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. I don't know how, whatever.
You are on
pair.
your 80s comparisons today, man. This is great.
I just
these analogies.
They're like cartoon characters.
I mean, you know what? It's good for the league. It's good for the New York Football Giants, dude, to have guys like that, characters like that, driving your franchise. Yep. It brings so much interest. I can't wait for like 2 more weeks. And Giants have a home game. I forget who they play home game, and it'll be sold out. And if you go to MetLife with Giants game past 5 years, and it looks like a whole bunch of fans dressed up like empty seats in there. It's just ridiculous. Now people are going to want to go watch this show, whatever it is. So I'm taking the show on the road.
Right, so
and taking the Giants. And
I have the Broncos. You have the Giants. Got it.
Of course, I am taking the Bucs over the Lions. It's going to be a cold day in Parker Street. I was going to say hell, but Parker Street isn't hell. That I don't take the Bucs. They're going to have to play with. I'm not going to even say it. I will always take the Bucs because I love the way that they're playing on offense. My MVP is going to continue to do MVP type stuff. The Lions, after giving up 30, are going to look to give up 30 more to Baker Mayfield, and it's going to be a big W. on the road. Monday Night Football.
You love the Road Warriors this week.
I love it.
The Rondé Barber Show will be back after this.
It's time for you to Ask Rondé, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen.
Let's move along here on the program. You know how it works.
Moving fast.
The video selfie questions on AskRondé.com automatically enters you to win some signed merchandise from the one and only Hall of Famer, Bucs legend, Rondé Barber. Hey, our question this week, we have one question this week, and it comes from a man, Gus? Yeah, Gus?
Rondé, it's Gus Swayze. Hope you're doing well. Listen,
Gus
brother, I got a
Swayze.
question for you. How in the world did you stay active and healthy for so long? Because let me tell you, as someone who has some knee troubles of his own, right? You saw that in your face. I'm very curious because let's just say, if I hadn't blown out my knee, well, I might have been coming for your job. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. So let me know. Would be happy to hear from you.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. Let's hear it for Gus
Swayze.
Swayze. Okay, so
How did I do it for as long as I you know what? I made a deal with and I didn't make a deal with the devil. I'm just lying. You know what? I took care of myself. I did all the little things to take care of myself. It's like stuff like muscle activation over the years that, I never had hamstring pulls. Look at this guy.
Okay, so this is Gus Swayze. Real quick, we'll have you answer the question, but that's James Hill, who won the Gus Swayze lookalike contest with the Bucs, the official one by the Bucs. And then we drew his name last week, Rondé, and he won a signed football by you.
So you convinced him since he won the football, that he had to come in and dress up and submit a question.
Look at that. He once again donned the Gus Swayze costume in time for Halloween.
Don't tell his mother this, but he looks better with the Gus Swayze. Isn't that your buddy, Rhett?
Sorry,
Rhett.
James.
I'm just kidding. You don't, but that's pretty awesome. 16 years, man. 16 years. You get through that by being a little lucky, literally doing all the modalities and taking care of yourself day after day. And you know what? Honestly, not standing around piles. That's how I maintain.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Do you remember who Anthony Poindexter was? You won't know who this is because you're way too young, but he was a safety that I played with at Virginia who was going to be a first-round draft pick. He's standing around a pile his last year at Virginia, standing around a pile, like pile's going down. Some idiot jumps over the pile, trying to hit the pile, and obliterates his knee.
Oh, man.
It never was ever the same. And so I never stood around piles. If I was either in the pile or I was nowhere near the pile. And I was in the pile a lot.
So the secret sauce to the 16-year Hall of Fame career, the longevity.
Actually, Gus Swayze, the real answer to that is get a lot of credit in the emotional bank account of your home team. That's what I did.
Rondé Barber here on the Rondé Barber Show. We appreciate everybody joining us here on the WFLA app. Drop a YouTube comment below if you've got some love.
We got to pull
us.
a winner. We got to pull a winner.
Oh, the winner! We got to pull a winner.
I almost forgot.
I almost forgot too. I was about to close the show without a winner. These guys are like, JB, get it together, man.
Right. Oh, guess what? Another full-size football.
Oh, okay. So another full.
The winner is Andrea Tanzi.
All right. Andrea Tanzi winning a football signed by Rondé Barber. Everybody, you can submit your video questions to AskRondé.com. The Bucs are 5-1, number one most talked about team and hottest team in the league. We love to see it, everybody. Of course, we'll be back next week and continue to talk Bucs football as Baker Mayfield continues to lead the Buccaneers atop the NFC South. For Rondé Barber, I'm JB Buno. We'll see you next time on the Rondé Barber Show.